a lot of reviews like Grace Randolph, Angry Joe, not Chris Tuckman, we haven't watched Chris Tuckman, Jeremy Jones, and who else?
Probably John Kemp. I don't remember
Oh
what he
yes,
said.
yes,
But
yes,
probably
John
him
Kemp.
too.
I mean, they all said the same things, and that is that Aquaman is a horrible movie. It's just super stupid. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but yeah, it's like flat. It's like without substance, without cohesiveness.
Forgettable.
Amber Heard is absolutely horrible. Acting is horrible. Amber Heard is also again horrible. There's a lot of stupid stuff. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It feels choppy. It feels like it's not one movie. It feels like two different movies, five different movies, whatever. And we were very discouraged by that because we already felt super down anyway from all the other movies that are totally ruined for us. Now, we did saw some good aspects from Flash because it was a good Flash movie,
Yeah,
the way that it
it's
was,
a good superhero movie.
and we are able to distance ourselves from real life and what the heck happened with Ezra Miller in real life. Whatever he did, it was after this movie, and it doesn't have anything to do with his acting abilities. Obviously, he's a great actor. So as far as Flash is concerned as a movie, it was a good Flash movie.
Yeah.
As DC fans, as someone that have seen pretty much all the DC movies ever, I can't remember any that I've missed, probably. Maybe something very old, I'm not sure.
Hey.
For the most part, we are informed and watched everything that we could have seen from DC. So we know what we like, we know how the characters should be, their nature, how they could be presented on screen, what's good, what's not. And with Aquaman, it's pretty much the same. So we have rewatched the first movie as well, because we wanted to see how the second one's gonna fare.
Yeah.
Because, for goodness sakes, a lot of years passed since the first movie.
Yeah.
As much as I feel it like it was yesterday, it wasn't.
Especially after pushing the second one several times, you know.
Yeah, that too. So yeah, we are aware that Aquaman 2 has reshoots, they removed Batman,
Yeah.
they removed a lot of things that probably would be very interesting, and maybe, just maybe, the movie was a lot better at the beginning and the original idea behind it, but goodness me, this is not a bad movie, and I don't know all the criticism, where is this coming from, because a lot of this criticism is based on stuff that are ridiculous. For example, why does Aquaman has a trident? Why does the other king
Why does King
has-
Nereus, the father of Mila, also has a
trident?
Why does the Cortex also has a trident?
Yes,
And
and
things
if
like
you
that.
watch the first movie, it is explained that that is traditional weapon.
Yeah.
Because Aquaman was like, why don't I have a sword? And Valko says because the trident is a traditional weapon
Yeah.
of the Atlantean people. So that is why. That is explained in the first movie. It is not a mistake.
Atlantean
of the
people who are,
second movie.
royalties. So
Royalties,
yeah, the other guys use other things. But yeah, so that's explained. And even if by some reason you forget that, as we say, many years have passed, or you just start watching the second movie, I mean, it's Aquaman. That's why it's a trident. I mean, King Neptune, in the Ario, other things like that has a trident. That's where it's based off. That's why the trident is. It's like again a fisherman thing. Even the gladiators that use that, it's they have a net and the trident. So it is kind of normal. I never thought of things like that. Even by then in the comic books, like why does this guy has a trident? No, he just has it because it's underwater. It's kind of logical, yeah.
Yay.
Another
Shocking.
right. So that was a really interesting criticism. Yeah.
Another I mean, there's a lot. We have to mention the criticisms because really they have no basis
Yeah,
of
yeah.
them. Then it was about Manta and how he gathered an army.
Oh yeah, Black Manta.
And how did you get this? What? Okay, so in the first movie, it wasn't explained how did he has what he has, because it's clear that when he's a pirate, obviously he did pirating for some time.
Yeah,
His father taught him.
his father
The
taught
father
him.
before that taught him. So that alone is enough for you to know that they have some experience and years
Yeah.
behind this. Thus, they have resources, and you can see that on I mean, in the way that they're dressed with the suits and all of that. And this time he was brought back to life, basically. I mean, he was hurt. He was saved by this doctor
Yeah,
whatever.
Dr. Shin.
Yeah, Dr. Shen. And just a black man who just picked up where he left off with all of
Exactly.
his resources and everything.
Yeah, he knows
He hired
mercenaries.
more people. We
That's
don't
it.
need to see
Yeah.
another movie about Black Manta hiring people like for an hour to have an explanation. We don't need an explanation. We're not idiots. Apparently, Angry Joe and his gang, what are?
Yeah, they're one of the guys who several times before that said, "Why do we need to see how Thomas and Martha Wayne died again? And now you want to see how Black Manta gathered his army."
Yeah, so make up your mind.
So, which one is it now?
Either
Yeah,
you
so-
want to see explanations for an hour more, or you're intelligent enough to get the hints and
Yeah.
just continue with the story.
Exactly.
We do not need the 500 hours of a story about how Black Manta grew up. He was a sad child. Somebody probably beat him when he was a kid. We get it. He's
yes.
a bad guy. He's a freaking pirate. We don't need to know more.
And
He
even-
chose to be a pirate.
Exactly.
He's a bad guy.
And even in the comic books, they tell you that he's a bad guy. He has those resources. They don't show you how he gathers the army and everything else. He just they're henchmen. It's comic books, and even in movies, when you have a bad guy who has henchmen, nobody said in Batman 1989, where does the Joker got his henchmen? He was a mafia guy there, I think. So even if he wasn't, who cares? He will get henchmen. Interview with people who get to be his henchmen and henchmen. So how evil are you exactly? Where do you see yourself after 5 years? Well, maybe in prison. That's a good one. I'll take you there. So here we go. Yeah, really stupid criticism.
Stupid. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's some others like Nicole Kidman couldn't move her face. Well, yeah, she can't move most of her face because obviously she has a lot of procedures done. But if you're a Hollywood actress, you have to have a lot of procedures
course,
done. That's kind of like the thing. You just have to do it.
And actually, but I
And
think
she
she
still
did
plays
great. Yeah,
amazing.
she still plays amazing.
She still has, well, her face as much as some of the face is not, that movable. And her eyes, she can act with everything. She's a great freaking actress. She has a ton more to do in this. Oh, and Mira, because
Yeah,
some of you
that
may
is the
have this
moment, yeah.
question about Mira Amber Heard. She is throughout this whole movie. And it's actually exactly how it should be.
Yeah,
Because she's the freaking queen of Atlantis. Are you expecting
needs to be
that
there.
she's going to be thrown out of the whole movie, not being next to Aquaman as his wife and the queen, not be helping him with the baby or something? Like, what do you expect? Plus, Amber Heard was another criticism, horrible in this movie. Amber Heard is exactly the same as she was
Yeah,
in the first
exactly
movie,
like in the
which is
first one.
perfectly
Yeah.
fine and great in the role. She's compelling, she's there, she's great. She does the best that she can with the material that she's
It
given.
is pretty much what Mira is, even in comic books. You see,
Yeah.
now her role is not as prominent as in the first one, but what you have there, it's what it should be.
Yeah, that
And-
is how Mira is.
A lot of people, if the fact that what she did in real life, again, is one of the things that actually start to see the whole movie. Just again, you have to do what we said about the Flash. You have to just compartmentalize the character from the actress, and you go to see Mira. She needs to be here. Why not recasting her or things like that? Because the movie was shot. I mean, you can't do that for those. Let's say maybe if we took all the minutes that she had in the movie, maybe 30 minutes she was there, like no difference in, let's say.
Even if she
15,
wasn't,
20.
she was throughout the whole movie. She was
she
in
was there,
every
yeah.
scene where it mattered.
It's not something that you can start from the beginning, like, but why they recasted other actors and things like that? It was not shot before. This was, sure they can make reshoots, but with a
After
role like
shoots,
that.
so many
Yeah.
people that she also acted with.
Yeah, she acted
in
with,
those
she has
scenes.
scenes with that. It's not like with the Flash that they could have changed things here. And you go and see the character. So she did her job, which is great. What she does in her personal life,
It's her personal
she
life.
has the consequences for that.
If we start with this, most Hollywood actors have something on them.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not exactly very
mean-
good. Jason Moore said some atrocious things years back
For example,
about the American presidency,
Yeah.
which was pretty freaking disgusting.
Exactly,
You
yeah.
know.
and
so,
he walks around naked in
Yeah.
TV shows. So, guys, if you take some of your rock musicians or things like that, I mean, come on.
some of
Come
them
on.
screwed up somewhere.
Just come on, yeah. But important is the music and the things they create. And here again, important is what they give you on the screen, and that's it.
And I have a question.
Yeah.
Why can't we just acknowledge the good and the bad? Why we just acknowledge the bad?
bad, yes.
I mean, Amber Heard did a very good job
Yeah.
in this role. exactly what she should have played. She did it. So
Yeah.
why
You
would
you
we
you
not acknowledge that and hate her in real life? I mean,
you want great female characters? Here you have one.
yeah,
That's it. Now that's a female. Do I want to see a movie about Mera?
not
No, not
necessarily.
necessarily.
That doesn't mean
but
that we should
but they
see.
show you here. She's like that in the comic book. She does this. She's the queen. She's with him. She helps
She's a
him with
great
that.
mom.
She doesn't hate men or wants to fight them or things like that. And
She
she
has
has just
plotter
one
powers.
face. So yeah, she has powers, and here you go. And that's the role that she has to play. Here you can't dismiss a whole movie just because Amber Heard is there.
Yeah, and
know.
besides, in this movie, there are no SJW bull crap.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not.
It feels like a movie from that period of time where comic book movies were still, great, and they didn't have that Marvel effect that
Really
we
feels
have
like
now.
part two.
Yeah, it really feels like part two. No SJW, and that's why it felt like a great movie, as it should be.
No, you're a man, I'm a female.
No,
Oh
oh,
no,
no,
oh no.
no.
No, there's real
We
love
can't
between
coexist,
men
yeah.
and women here. I mean, Queen Atlanta really loves Aquaman's dad.
Yeah,
Really, really loves him. And
exactly.
Mira really loves Aquaman. And she appears in some moments. I mean, in one moment and helps save him like she did in the first movie.
Yeah, yeah.
She helps her husband
I mean,
and
Atlanta,
her.
Queen Atlanta never said in the first movie to Tom, Aquaman's father, well, you don't have powers, you're an ordinary man, so you're nothing.
Yeah.
No, here we have actually what true love is, and not only between two people, also between two worlds even. I would say.
Yeah. And
Exactly.
how, and there's a lot of meaning in this movie,
Yeah,
how Aquaman, because he is from both worlds, he can bring both worlds together. And he has to overcome the challenges that he faces in the opposition and his own freaking court, because there's like council with a lot of annoying fish people with a huge stick up their butts, and they just hate the surface dwellers.
for the sake of it. Yeah, so
Yeah, and they
because
just want
they're
to
the surface
destroy
level.
us
Yeah.
like Orm wanted to. And then Orm is explained how he goes through this character development. Yeah, one of the criticism also was that nobody had a character development, which is totally not true, because freaking Aquaman, he goes through this, fight within himself. He does not want to be king because of how pumped this and the political aspect of it. He's a very free spirit.
And because every
He-
time he actually wants to do something,
these annoying
Queen's
fishes,
Court, yeah, is against him because traditions and stuff like
traditions,
that.
and that keeps them vulnerable and just stupid, basically.
Which do not work in modern world now, especially when you have a king that is from both worlds.
Yeah, he says some really cool things.
Yeah.
If you want to have a voice, you have to have a seat on the table.
Yeah.
And then to his dad that, well, you're the real superhero, because he did so many things that require a lot of real strength without any powers.
And his dad says a great thing that is about sometimes the only superhero thing you can do is not to give up.
Yeah, amazing.
Here we go. Yeah.
I just can't believe that in a modern superhero movie we actually hear
Right.
wisdom
Yeah, exactly.
that we want to hear.
Yeah.
And it's not just one line like, with great power comes great responsibility, which is absolutely true and awesome. But in this movie, you can quote several of these
Exactly.
things.
Orm has a great character development. I mean, he does understand things. So I don't see how they didn't have any development. So I mean, people were probably sleeping or something like that. The movie viewers that we watched probably were sleeping.
I don't know what it's modern to hate a movie. This
Probably,
movie.
probably. I mean, now it's kind of like there is no nuance. You either hate it or you loved it, and that's it. Nothing in
I
between.
mean, okay,
Or-
we knew that the movie has issues with production and everything, all the cataclysms that happen over at DC, but then you sit down, you watch it, and you can't see how it is.
I
You
mean,
have to think that it's bad automatically.
Everything feels seamless. I didn't see that moments that people say that it looks like different moments cut together. I mean,
What?
it's a perfectly cohesive movie. Yeah, it's not like, let's say, I felt like that when I watched the first Suicide Squad. There I could see that okay, now we chop this and we put it here. That is more visible to me, or like I think one of the new Hellboys was kind of like that. Okay, not so sure because it was a long time ago, but there is nothing of that sort. I don't know why people see there. Okay, It's an absolutely cohesive movie.
It's just not fair. I just feel that this movie is judged unfairly.
Yeah,
And
either because of, again, much like with the Flash, with the Earth situation, and people just don't want to go for that, or because the fact that this is the last of the DCEU, DCEU movies, and people just don't care anymore. But watch it just as a standalone superhero movie.
yeah,
The
because
sequel of the first one, and that's it.
it's quality.
Yeah.
It's compelling in many ways. The humor is great. There's great humor. There's an octopus. It's like a secret operative. Toto?
Topo.
Topo.
Yes.
Yeah, he's called Topo, and he's like just going around and makes these amazing sounds like Toto.
Yeah. Aquaman rides his gigantic seahorse, which is from the comic book, and it doesn't look cheesy or something. Here it feels really as if you open a comic book from the Silver Age, and some shots look like drawings or even covers from the Silver Age. Like there is a shot that Orm stands, and behind him there is that machine octopus look thingy, and then he turns around and it's like above him. That's a shot from a comic book there. Again.
That's amazing shot, by the way. I was very impressed.
It's
when
amazing
I saw
shot,
that.
and I said, "Hey, I have seen this in a cover of Aquaman comic book, and it's right there."
They thought about things.
Yeah.
They put thought
imagine
into
that.
it.
Imagine that. It wasn't just like we'll throw this over here and here you go. No, the moment you see that, and all the like knowledge that they use really feel as if it's from that period of comic books, with machines with the tentacles or the ships, and you say that's the Silver Age right there, and it still feels modern. So the people actually did their job. Imagine that in creating the movie.
So a lot of kudos this movie deserves. It's very rewatchable, like the first movie. You can enjoy it a second time, and still gonna be interesting. Still gonna be fun. We both felt on the edge of our seats sometimes, and we felt for the characters, what's happening, and we see how the evil of the Necros is corrupting Black Manta. And one of the things that the critics said was that, well, this movie is not even Black Manta, it's about the other guy, and then the whole movie you watch a villain, then there's another in a freaking darn damn minute. The second villain is the evil that drives the first villain.
Yeah.
I mean, that's poetic, because you see someone that already has a potential for evil to become even more evil and ready to even kill an innocent child just to get his revenge, which is absolutely horrifying. And it is to a big extent real. I mean, it's a real thing if you can allow someone to corrupt you and drive you into even a worse person. So you see how one's evil person agenda corrupts another evil person that is totally vulnerable to such a control. And then you see how this same power can also just take over another and make him do something. So it is about how if you are driven by revenge, you can actually become weaker and susceptible to someone else's control. And that someone else has another agenda that's greater than yours, and you become like an afterthought, just a tool, just a puppet. You can just understand from this that evil doesn't care if you're also evil. If the greater evil can use another, it won't respect you just because you're also evil.
If it can corrupt you and control you, it
will do it there, because for him you're a weakling. You're just a puppet.
And the whole time in the movie, they do know what is the threat. They know that it's not only Black Manta that is the threat. I mean, they understand, okay, something else is happening there. So why does he have this? Why he has powers now? And if the movie was just about him, without discovering the thing with the necklace and things like that, were we going to watch just a guy in a power suit who tries to find Aquaman or what? Because in the comics it also he has a power suit. He has the technology, so the whole movie they have to show us some convoluted ways of him to getting with the technology, and here you go. So, which would not work here. So you do have that bigger evil that is there. Yeah, is it another villain? It is, but it's there the whole time. You know what the threat is. It is shown. There is an interesting comment there.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey, Yordi. It has action but many jokes. They're not that. They're
They're
really
not
not
that
that
many. Really
many,
not that many. I mean,
and they're on the place, on the spot. They
yeah,
they are
this
for the
as I
situations.
said, this is not Thor. It's
Not
not Ant-Man, freaking Ant-Man 3, which just you know
where everything falls flat and it's
exactly.
stupid.
The jokes are good and they are not as much. You have exactly that many jokes in the first movie between Mera and Aquaman, and even sometimes when we're talking with Torm, and here you have exactly the same amount of that. Okay, maybe two, three more, but all of them are great and organic. This is not the stupid comedy that talking with my hammer and my hammer is jealous because of the other hammer and stuff like that, and screaming goats every 5 minutes. No,
I'm gonna
I mean,
buy my hammer a
I
beer.
I prefer watching a TV show about Topo than seeing 5 minutes of the two stupid goals in the or Love and Thunder. Or whatever.
Topo is freaking great,
Yeah,
guy.
and he's
Topo
smart guy.
the boss
Exactly.
is
So
great.
yeah,
Topo.
Jason Momoa in Momoa style, like a Morbius moment. Okay, Morbius is one of those movies that actually has those choppy things that
Oh yeah,
looks
it's
like different
extremely
moments.
choppy.
Here we
That's the
go. Yes,
choppiest movie of them all.
exactly. So I mean, Jason Momoa does what he does here.
Yeah, he's Jason Momoa,
And
guys.
I like him here a bit more than actually what people said in oh, his greatest role is this
Yes.
Furious. That felt more like Jason Momoa said, like they told him, okay, just do whatever you want there, be funny, be quirky. No, I like this thing over here more because he's still serious in the moment that he has to be. He still shows doubt that am I a good king or things like that. Which come on, if all any of us is a king of Atlantis, you feel that I am not sure if I want to be the king or things like that. And he has that doubt. Each of us has a moment of doubt that I think that I suck at this job.
Yeah.
And then someone else will show you the wisdom of you're actually not as bad as you think you are. You just think you're not good in this or in anything.
Yeah, because he's not the pompous guy that he thinks that the king of Atlantis should be.
And he shows that in a great way. Sure, he screams most of the time woo and things like that. Okay, cool. But which Grace Lando said that. And even then I thought, now wait a minute, Grace. There are two types of Saturday morning cartoons. There is, for example, the Super Friends from 1966 or 1970 something, in which Aquaman rides the gigantic thingy there, which looks cheesy in the cartoon.
A seahorse?
A seahorse, yes, because it was made with the thoughts kids watched that thing, okay, and it was Hanna-Barbera, in which he literally talks to fish, and that's why he was ridiculed for more than 50 years. Like the guy who talks to the fish, that's his power, right? He can talk to the fish, and that's it. Nobody knew about his impregnable skin. Nobody knew about that he can swim fast and how with the sea creatures, and that he's the only one who can do it all the and until the new 52 that
hold on, Jordi, we're going to answer that.
And these two movies actually show you this badass Aquaman that it should be. Okay, sure, he rides a motorbike, he drinks beer. Jason Momoa, cool. But it's still the character is there. It's not changed so drastically so that it fits Jason Momoa like they do with many other things. And I also thought, okay, it's going to be Momoa doing his stuff. It is. But it's, let's say, 70 to 30% here. 70 in the thing that is still Aquaman, yes. He's still the king. He still see that you can see him as Aquaman. Sure, Patrick Wilson, for example, who plays Thor, look more like Aquaman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually.
But that's just his look. Would have he done that as good a job as?
He does a great arm.
And that's what you need here, yeah.
So it's very important to. I mean, you already just hold on. I'm gonna answer that really. So it's very important to note that there's comedy and there's comedy.
Yeah.
And there's ways to integrate comedy when it's suitable, how it is in real life. It has to be seamless. So when something happens in real life and it's funny, it just happens, but just a few moments ago, something else could have happened. It's not that funny. It's not that good. It's not that positive. But then again, things changed and something funny happens. So this is how comedy should be done in movies, especially when you have serious moments as well. There's some moments, elements, episodes, for example, from Xena Warrior Princess, where there's like tons of comedy, but it's integrated in the context of what's happening, and it makes total sense, and it just on its place, and it just perfect. It lands, it does not fall flat, it lands on its feet. And here's the same, when you have comedy, it is perfectly aligned with the character of Aquaman, who he is, how he thinks. It is aligned with the character for, let's say, for example, Orm. Orm is not the one who just, like he says,
Exactly. Yeah.
it is not suitable for a king to jest or something like that, he said to Aquaman.
Yeah.
But the way that he still kind of goes, goes with the flow of of how Aquaman talks, and he also makes some funny moments more funny. Let's say he also interjects some kind of a humor.
Because he's like fish out of water here
Yeah,
in
but
our world,
also you
kinda.
just can't help. If you're Orm, you have to do that.
Yeah.
Because you're put to interact with this character, your brother Aquaman, that is totally different from you, and you are shocked and you don't know how to react, so it becomes funny. And then Aquaman knows a lot about the land, so they use that to make a joke about the food on Earth, creates a very funny scene in the middle. Okay, like kind of like the middle of the movie, and then at the end credit scene just pays off the scene even more. It's just great. So all of the things in context make perfect sense, and all the comedy is just great for what it is and where it was. But when it comes to Aquaman, when it comes to Aquaman being serious and being funny, he is absolutely
He is.
serious with the council when he needs to put his foot down, to say calmly what it needs to be done like a true king. And then when he fights the enemy as well, he is just like, oh man, I'm gonna kick your freaking butt here.
And also, it kind of fits for this Aquaman to behave like that, like kind of like Jason, because he grew up in our world. Don't forget, just like you said, Orm grew up absolutely completely in Atlantis. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he didn't. So he can't behave like that serious stick in the butt. He doesn't come from Atlantis. He wasn't born, to be raised to be a king all the time. So, but what I forgot to say about again, like you said, there is comedy and comedy. Just as there's Saturday morning cartoons, this Aquaman is not the 1970 something super friends Aquaman. This Aquaman feels like
It's
the
not
first
cheap.
time he appeared there was an episode in which he appeared for the first time in the Superman animated series, the one from the creators of Batman, and then after that in the Justice League cartoon, which back then when I saw it, I said, oh, so Aquaman, because that was maybe the second time I saw him after those cheesy cartoons. So Aquaman is actually cool because they show you the real version of it, and this one he feels like that. Okay, maybe let's say it's not exactly like the, but it's like that the DC cartoons, the DCAU as they call it for animated
Not the
universe.
cheese.
So yeah, it's not the 1978 cartoon. It's not something that you watch Saturday morning with your bowl of cereal and things like that, and you just digest and you watch things move. It's you have all that.
You have the
Nothing
meaning,
is, yeah.
you have the substance,
It's
you have
not
everything.
even the 2005 superhero movie, which Morbius feels like.
But it
No.
sucks though.
Yeah, exactly. This one, really, really great.
Okay, so I just want to, reply to yours. So yeah, Jason Momoa and Jason Momoa style, like the Morbius moment. Nah, not sure about which moment that is.
There were lots of bad moments in that
Yeah,
movie.
there's also a
Yeah.
joke, and
Yeah.
Aquaman calls Orm Loki, which is suitable actually
It's
for the
suitable,
story.
and let's not forget that it also there is a mythology with those things.
Yeah.
It's not just the Marvel things. that
Yeah,
it is. So,
yeah. The mythology is long before.
Plus, I probably again people with torches will try to kill me
People
on
with
the way
torches.
to the subway, but who knows? I like the connection between Aquaman and Orm in those movies more than Thor and Loki. Yeah, because they do feel different. Because they feel different, because they grew up in absolutely different environments, and they do behave differently. Do I want to see show just about? No.
No.
He works best like now in those movies, I would say. But I like that connection more. They're really different as it should be.
And somebody addressed the elephant in the room in this movie, and they actually showed Nicole Kidman, Queen Atlanta, as their mom, and how she connects them, and she reminds them that they're both her sons. So they both love their mom. So
Yeah.
it's, although
Or
Orm is an ass, he's not an ass because he's evil. He's an ass because of his principles and how he grew up. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like not even his fault. His dad was a typical Atlantean king from more of the modern times, and he taught him to be an ass, but his mom has the old values of King Atlan. So he still respects her. He cannot deny her value and her wisdom. So when she says, please, keep each other safe and all of that, he can't just overlook that, eventually, especially. So it's important. I mean, in a lot of movies, when such things happen, nobody addresses other important people that could have some kind of a bearing on the decisions of the main characters. But here, she is there, she's alive, she's actually is doing her job as a mom. She connects with them, she talks to them, and she also shows her love towards Aquaman's father still, although he's old and all of that. So those important human things that make sense and they should happen actually are shown here. Because in other movies, you actually don't see exactly the normal stuff that you expect from people and their interaction. Like you will talk to your mom for some things, if that means that you could be driven out of a bad decision. It's important and it's shown here. It's here. So I really enjoy that, really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
exactly.
Now, yeah, I really can't tell you about what Morbius moment you mean. The Necron King Zarek, if it's written like that, not really. You saw a video about the Necron who collects all kinds of people, including people. I mean, there's a Necron that collects all kinds of stuff, even moments in time. He even helped in the siege of Cadia just because he wanted to collect a lot of soldiers. Yeah, I know something about that, but not the whole story. But yeah, this guy is awesome in Warhammer. But we do not have anything about the collecting of things here.
Yeah.
There's a different DC character that's like the collector from Marvel
The
or something.
preserver.
But
It's
he's
called
the preserver,
and he
and
was
he
created just
collects
for the
things.
cartoon. Yes.
Yeah, so there's another thing like that in DC and in Marvel, another person like that. His museum was a living planet with nanomachines. Yeah, that's just super cool.
Yeah.
I mean, this
But
guy.
if you ask if King Cordax,
He's
somewhere
like
there,
him.
like
He's
him?
not.
No.
He's more like the Silent King.
Yeah.
And because of the things that he did to his people, the power that he used to change them forever, this is just like the king. And we address all of the similarities and differences when this stream started, so you can just go back and watch from the beginning.
Yeah.
The first part of the stream is all about the comparison between the Silent King, the Necrons, and
The necklace. Yes.
and King Greyjoy from it's actually this actor. He has
Yeah.
just one appearance, but you can see how he's passionate.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you say. "Ooh." Yeah, but let's not forget Topo,
Of course.
the greatest octopus on
and
cinema.
the king of the crabs, I think his name was Brin King or something.
Like what
You
was
have to
it?
keep your eyes open.
Open.
Oh, it was going to be easy because
Mine never close.
Yeah. So
Because he's a
here,
crab.
great humor. I like this crab more again than that Taika Waititi guy. I forget Clock from Ragnarok again, which all people think is the funniest character ever. Sorry,
No, it's just
no,
lame.
just no, it's just lame. Yes.
Everything is Marvel. Marvel, I mean, last few movies, when it comes to humor, just lame, not on its
Yeah,
place. It's just out of left field. It's dumb. No, that this is not a video about Marvel versus DC humor, but at least DC never actually
Try the humor like
overstepped
that, exactly. Yeah.
in
Yeah.
such a stupid way like Marvel did with the humor, and never tried to deprive the movies of substance because of humor. And that joke comes to mind with Batman v Superman. Is she with you? No, I thought she was with you.
Yeah.
That's great. That's
That's a
just
great
on the
joke, yeah,
spot.
yeah.
It's perfect moment between Batman and Superman because Wonder Woman just appears out of nowhere and
you're
Batman
going
is
to ask
confused.
that? Yeah. You're going to ask that?
Yeah, because he's in a world with other superheroes that actually have powers, not like him.
Yeah.
And he's like wondering what the heck he should make out of the situation. It's great.
Yeah.
It's,
That's a great humor and not forced jokes and so, yeah.
yeah. Okay, guys. So we have been talking for an hour and 10 minutes.
Watch the movie.
Freaking yeah. I mean, we know that this movie is gonna fall flat, but it really doesn't deserve to do that because it's just a quality movie. And if we can just get out of our egos and just see it, because as we said, guys, if this movie sucked, we would be the first to tell you that it
Yeah.
sucks. But if you watch the first movie and you still enjoy it, you should love the second movie, because
Yeah.
it's just a natural
It's
continuation of
just
the
as good.
of
Exactly.
the
It's just
first.
as good.
Sorry. And Aquaman does superhero things. You know, he saves human beings. Like in the first seconds of the movie, he's already saving
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
which is great. That was a great opening. He kicks ass. He's a great dad. The baby is actually pretty freaking awesome. The
If
baby.
you about, oh no, they're going to show me 1 hour and a half of him being a dad. No, that's a small though. They just show you that
Yeah,
it's not something you do understand, that he is a father, that he likes that he has that responsibility, but it's not going to be him walking around with the baby in the park and stuff like that.
and you
So
can see how the
don't worry
baby
about
is
that. Yeah.
special
Yeah.
already.
Exactly.
And that just
Yes.
created baby just wasn't like a passive, beautiful baby. It's a very beautiful baby, by the way. Super cute. But he also has something within him that is
Yeah.
amazing.
If you are fans of Silver Age comic books, you liken the baby because that's also there. So yeah, that's it. That's your Silver Age comic book in 2 hours. Just
Yeah.
like some of you watch the Flash because of the Flash, not because of Ezra Miller. Watch it because of the character.
Yeah.
You like those characters. If you see Mela for the first time or think like that, that's your ticket to see who she is. Then go and read some comic book with her. I mean, she's there also.
Yeah, I mean, if we can acknowledge the real life atrocities that some people, the actors can do, then we can also acknowledge the real life achievement of a
That they
talent,
have done, yeah.
which is acting in this case. So why not acknowledge that she actually did a good job when she did, and acknowledge when she didn't? It is the same thing. Why only focus on something bad that's not related to this film? You know, at all. She was a great mirror. She looks great. She acts great within the boundaries of this role.
Yeah.
She acts as a great companion, queen, a mother in this movie, and she's there when she needs to be there, not more, not less. She's active. She's not passive. Yeah, she has a voice. She's doing great.
But the movie is still Aquaman's movie.
Yeah, that never forgets. You know, just never forgets it's Aquaman movie.
Exactly.
In other movies, like Marvel movies, you just don't know, like Ant-Man,
Whose movie is that? Yes.
what, his daughter, his
Everyone.
slipper,
Everyone was more
his
competent than him.
backpack.
And here
Everyone's more
and
important.
here Aquaman is not done incompetent or anything like that. So you know,
Yeah.
when he
He
it's
has to-
logical.
he
Yeah.
will come.
Exactly.
He
But
will
it's not
do.
going to be done in any way that he looks incompetent. No. Or some of the other characters to look more, and for him to be just a shadow and to say, oh, look, Mela, you're much better than me, and Orm is much better than me, and even that small golden fish behind you, it's better than me. No things like that. Yeah.
And also, I had an epiphany at the end of the movie, which I totally forgot about. So I'm glad that I just remembered it. Oh, thank you. So yeah, the epiphany is, guys, because we always wondered, you know, whatever happened in this movie, and there's a lot to think about, really, if you dig deep in this movie, because as we said, there's a lot of meaning here. But also, another meaning in my epiphany was that basically Big Skin Atlan was a very good king, and he decided, like every other hero and a lot of other stories and universes that we see in, he decided to, instead of destroy the evil, to imprison the evil, and he was supposed to do that for a whole of eternity. But there's a twist. I mean, there's a weakness to his idea, which was the blood magic. So basically, he could not have predicted that some of his lineage will eventually be able to free these people. He thought that maybe, just maybe, they would never find out about this kingdom and never free this king and all that. But of course, this is a huge opportunity for someone somewhere if there's only the blood that's needed, the king's blood, to free the people. So my point is, guys, that once again we see a decision from a hero that instead of vanquishing an evil, they decide to just imprison it, just to not kill the said evil, because if he just decided to kill his brother, none of this would have happened now. So we see someone that has no backbone in terms of the decisiveness to destroy or kill. Then years later we see the consequences of this lack of decisiveness to kill. And I'm like, okay, so superheroes or heroes a lot of times decide to not kill, and we think that that is, very good. That is how it's presented. In the same time, we have this conundrum that when a hero is a warrior or a soldier, they can kill because they wear the mantle of a soldier or a warrior. So if they call themselves that, they can totally kill. It's fine.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
accept it. Captain America has a gun. He shoots people. We don't see who he shoots and how they fall and the blood from the bullet entering, but we know that he shoots people from the first few moments of when he became Captain America.
He killed a lot of Nazis in the comic book.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
He's a
Yeah.
soldier, so it's
He's a
totally
soldier.
fine. He's totally morally perfect human being, and he kills people, and we know that he kills people, but we never mention it. But when it comes to Batman, who is a vigilante, he's not officially acknowledged by any powers to be a soldier or a warrior, then it's not okay for him to kill people because he's not officially acknowledged to be a soldier or a warrior.
Yeah.
Like, what is that? I mean, if
Yeah.
whatever
Commissioner
Gordon,
Gordon. So good.
Sir Gordon.
Because he's British now.
Yeah. Okay, so if he comes and he says, "Oh, Batman, you are now a member of the police and you officially have the permission to kill if somebody is attacking you and you can't stop them any other way. You have the right to shoot them or something." And Batman will be able to kill them officially, and nobody would care and nobody will judge him because he's now a police force.
Yeah.
Okay, but he's a police force, but the only difference is that somebody official will acknowledge you as something that you already are. I mean, basically by the way that you work, but the only thing that's gonna change that you weren't is the fact that you're going to be able to go all the way and actually kill someone. That is. Or if you're a warrior. Yeah, because when I used to watch Xena Warrior Princess, there was the same thing. She's a warrior, she kills. And there was talk about that. Should you kill? And then her partner Gabrielle was on the same path to becoming a warrior, but then she decided, no, I'm going to adopt the way of peace and not be a warrior. And then she saw that when she does that, people die. A lot of people die. If she tries to incapacitate someone, sometimes it works, but a lot of the times it's a matter of life and death, and she can't just do that fast enough to stop someone. So she does have to use lethal force. It's just inevitable in certain situations because it is a situation of war. And whatever happens on the streets with Batman is a situation of war. It is small-scale war, but it is war. Those people are out to get him. They're out to kill him. He dies.
He calls it, "It's my war."
Exactly. But he still doesn't take any lives. Like, of course, in some situations you could totally not, especially if you have other technologies. And it's a long topic, I'm sorry I brought it up. That's one of the topics. It's just that a title of someone, in our eyes, can enable them to kill, and we're okay with that. But when they just decide on their own to do that, we are not okay with that. But the difference is just the title, So yeah, think about that. And also, actually, that wasn't my epiphany. That still wasn't.
Yeah, that's the way to it.
Actually, you can say this is the second epiphany. But the one that I actually wanted to talk to you about is when we think about should someone kill or not kill, we always think about our own morals in the real world. But I do think that we have to separate the two, and actually in the context of what we are watching many times, it's different because the world and how it operates, when their beliefs and their systems, we don't have here such gods that they do, such powers that they do. So sometimes in the context and the world that they are living in, the moral thing is to kill. Sometimes in that world, the moral thing for us is not to kill. In our real world, real circumstances, and what we know that it's real. For us is not good. For the time being, that the time slot or the time period that this is taking place in, the story that it's developing in a certain place, certain time, all of that, creatures and all the things that exist there, it is okay to kill there sometimes. It's not to kill there sometimes. But this is their own rules. We should not apply that to our world. I think that our mistake a lot of times is that we are applying our logic
Yeah.
from our real world to the fictional world, where there are so many other things that exist there and other circumstances that can never happen in our world, but they can happen there.
Yeah.
So,
These
so
are two different worlds, really.
yeah, so
Also, they have different situations in which most of us will never be. So
exactly.
that we actually have the saying on that. Oh, why Superman snapped Zod's neck? It was a pretty clear situation why. It was pretty clear that he didn't enjoy it, or nor that he wants to do it. I mean, and I don't understand when people have that criticism to the movie even to this day, because it's shown. Why is it? If you get Wolverine in comic books, sometimes he has to kill, or not the moments when he was a soldier or trained for the samurai or things like that, or even trained as this big killing machine with what I forgot my thought. Yeah, with brainwashing so that he kills and all the other. No, he understands pretty good in the moments that sometimes first of all that's the only way. Sometimes, second of all, he understands sometimes to defend another people or being in a different situation, I have to do it. Then it's when it's a must. And this is the situation that we cannot apply in our world.
Yeah, we don't have
We
Zod
just don't
here
have that.
in our
Yeah.
world. We
Yeah.
don't have a Superman in our world,
Yeah.
but in the Superman world, that happened.
That happened, yeah.
And what he could have done, he
Yeah.
did the thing which will protect the world. And in this case with Aquaman and Atlan, he didn't do the thing in the circumstances that we will never have on Earth in real life. And because of that, we once again see the consequences, the hypothetical consequences, that if you don't have the backbone to take this extra step and actually kill, you also have the consequences in years down the line that will come back to bite you.
Yeah.
That, I mean, in real life, you can imprison someone, they can never, get out of there, and they can get some kind of a punishment without taking their lives. But in the comic books or movies,
Villains
that
go
will
away all
come,
the time.
that will come back. So if you don't have the backbone to kill, this will come back. That's it. I mean, we see this countless of times. He had good intentions, but his plan and his magic was flawed, because
Yeah.
any one of his lineage that has his blood can break this spell, and God forbid it happens. Those freaking necros could have destroyed the whole world with a stupid
Yeah, yeah.
orichalcum power source, poison the whole world like they poisoned themselves. So there's a lot of things at stake, and people did die
Yeah.
because
Even,
King Atlan couldn't take this extra step.
even if it wasn't Black Manta looking for blood or things like that, what if some of the descendants of Atlan actually decided to use that power and know, oh, if I wake up, this guy's there? What if he was exactly like a Kordax? I mean, Atlan cannot know what his descendants are going to be. I mean, hell, Orm could have had that thought in, let's say, in the first movie when he was more of a douchebag. So here, the flow there is pretty clear in that
Yeah,
way of thought, yeah.
the way that it is, the truth it is that Atlan just leaves a hanging threat in the air for
Yeah.
future generations to deal with.
I mean, it's not like in Black Adam when they have literally written, just read this and he will be free. But it's still a flawed plan because of something that he didn't have the guts to, finish to the end.
Yeah, you were imprisoning pure evil. Yes, it was his brother before he decided to become something else. So
It wasn't his brother anymore after that, so yeah.
he killed himself,
Yeah.
his brother.
Yeah.
He killed himself by doing this. So it's not like he's killing his brother. He's
Yeah.
killing a creature that just has some body left of his brother.
Yeah.
That is it. That's just someone is wearing the remains of his brother. That is how it is. So lacking the backbone to do this, King Atlan, the great wise King Atlan, actually not that wise anymore
Yeah.
when we think
Yeah.
about it. But this is still carries a lot of meaning because, all of these conclusions that you just, in certain circumstances, and it's actually unexcusable not to kill.
Yeah.
It is
In that
unexcusable.
situation, yeah.
It's not only the right thing to do, but it's the must thing to do. What?
Yeah.
That is it. Context is everything. I say that many times. I say it again, guys. You cannot just blame someone or the opposite of blame, accept something without context. You have to have context. You have to measure everything as objectively as possible without any feelings. Just see the facts, measure them, see what's good, what's not, what's better, what's worse, and decide what's right for the particular context. It's not all black and white, really. I mean, in life is not, but when it comes to comic books and comic book characters, you really have to just judge a situation not by our rules and our morals, but by their world and by their circumstances, their creatures.
Hi, Martin.
We are just closing up, but do you see the comparison between the Necrons and the Necrus in the beginning and the whole thing? Is,
Yes.
it's 1 hour and 30 minutes now. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. I want to say something. What's the freaking
Obviously,
movie?
yes. Really.
I
yeah.
give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, exactly.
An 8 out of 10.
Great.
It's a superhero movie. It's an Aquaman movie.
Yeah.
It's just great. Watch the first movie if you can. You're going to do yourself a favor if you just watch the first movie before this, because
really.
you're going to see the quality, that how it's sustained and continued perfectly, and how everyone are actually absolutely wrong about this movie.
Mati, because I see your comment, I'm just going to remind you. Remember what we told you about The Flash? And you watched it. And
we were
what happened
right.
after that? Do the same thing now.
Yes, because
Yes.
we have the same ways of analyzing
exactly.
things.
Yeah.
No.
No, you do it then. You do it.
You got it.
You gotta watch it, yes. Okay, again. We said it earlier in the video, but much again, as I told you, and I think the Empress told me before that,
Yeah.
much like with The Flash, you will see Mira,
And not Amber
not
Heard.
Amber Heard. That's what you need to watch.
She really embodies the character.
Much like in The Flash, you saw The Flash, you forget about Ezra and his, stupidity and everything. You go there, you saw Buddy Allen, The Flash. Here, it's going to be the same thing. Just try it.
The same thing, you have to give credit where credit is due. So, like we said before, if you can say that someone sucks because what they have done in real life, in whatever context, you can also say that and acknowledge what they did good in real life as well.
Yeah.
So if you can see one, why can you not see the other? Why can you actually see the good? Why do you want to see the bad only? You have to also see the good, because she really did a great job. Like the first movie. If you've seen the first movie, you can watch the second movie. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Nothing changed in there, as we say. Yeah.
Okay, to answer this last question, she is sprinkled throughout the whole movie because she's freaking queen of Atlantis, and she has a lot of role being next to Aquaman, taking care of the baby, doing queenie things along with Aquaman, and just being Mira, the queen of Atlantis once again. I mean, she's like few seconds here, few seconds there, kicking ass or doing something else, but she's always used exactly in amount that she should be.
Yes.
But she's from the beginning to the end of this film.
Yeah.
Just sprinkled throughout.
There is. Yeah.
She is exactly in the amount of the amount of the movie as she's supposed to be, is Queen of Atlantis.
That's it. Yeah.
Because
you see, if you can't stand her that much, you see in the other characters. That's it. That's a good example there with.
She acts like she does have dignity in real life as well.
Yeah. So
I mean, she's so good.
That's a
You will
good
never
example
know.
about if you don't like people, you don't want to be around them. Sometimes you still have to do stuff with those people. Let's say maybe people with who you work with. You don't have to like them. You just need to work with them. So you don't need to like her for the movie to work for you, because the character will work for you. So that's it. You just go and see it.
I mean, I also don't like her in real life for what she did to Johnny
exactly.
Depp, but I can still watch the movie and see the
You just
character.
compartmentalize that. You see the character. That's what you have to do.
I just don't think it's right to forget everything that somebody has done that is good and decide to not appreciate it at all and not acknowledge it and just only remember the bad, because no one just did good in their lives.
I said it in the beginning of the stream. If you watch, not in the beginning, maybe in the middle. I said it with some rock musicians or things like that. I mean, not all of them are angels. What they do, you still appreciate the art.
Jason Momoa said stupid politics things before. Very bad, very stupid.
Yeah.
Everyone did in some
Everyone
point.
did, yes.
There's no like perfect Hollywood actor, and even Lucy Lawless that I love so much is the freaking stupid activist SJW.
Yeah.
Ugh, I don't
Yeah.
want to
But
continue.
we still love Zeno. We say
Yeah.
Ford speaks stupid things for the most of his career.
Yeah.
We still love Indiana Jones as a character. Hans.
Acts perfectly.
Yeah. So here we go. That's it.
So yeah, and Orlando Bloom apparently he has nothing to do these days because he's like a beer commercial.
Yeah. I mean, what's it?
I saw him and like when I watched Aquaman the first time.
Okay. So yeah, go and watch it. And watch the whole video.
Sound issue, it's clicking. Well, we are closing anyway.
Yeah.
Let us know if anyone else has a clicking issue. I didn't click anything, but yeah. Okay, guys. So 8 out of 10. Go see the movie. Hopefully, well, we know that it's gonna flop, but still,
But
maybe
it's a good as a
people are
movie, I
going
mean.
to check it on HBO Max later. It does not deserve the criticism that it gets because all the reasons that we explained earlier. So yeah, go and check the review from now on. We wish you a very awesome, happy new year. We hope that you have an amazing 2024. This is this. If you like to use my services as a coach, I use OnlyFans as a platform to give you sex education, which is intimate relationships, personal advice on that, anything that you need on fitness, health, nutrition, create personal videos for you, ASMR. If you need me, only $5 a month. My own physique updates and how I explain how I'm into shape the whole time, even on the holidays. So yeah, woohoo! Just OnlyFans is a great site to upload such things, not only explicit content, but also meaningful stuff if you wish to use it this way, and I do. So that is what I do. So New Year tomorrow, we're going to see each other as soon as I can recover from the new year and continue with all the Warhammer content that I do. Thank you, dear Clayton. Yes, I hope 2024 will be better for everyone. When it comes to the art and person, it all depends on who is the person and what acts like we are talking about. Not sure if I got this entirely.
For the art and the person.
Yeah.
If you still appreciate the art.
Yeah.
Or the act of the person.
Yeah, in this way. Okay. I want sport and more than Oh, okay.
Of course not, yeah.
Of course not. Okay, so yeah, Happy New Year tomorrow. And yes, if you do 2023, I agree. Also, although some good things happen, but some bad things happen. Yeah. Okay, guys, so I love ya. And until next time with me, the Warhammer 40k Empress show. And of course, my dear friend, Luke. Bye bye.